Hey everyone, this is Jen and you're watching BPD Woman. On this channel, you will learn how to live more effectively with your borderline personality disorder. It's my goal to help you understand your emotions, to help manage them more effectively, to navigate things that may be more difficult for you, using skills such as DBT and my own personal anecdotal experience to help guide the way. I am not a life coach, a therapist, or a PhD, but I can answer one question that many of those folks cannot, which is, what is it like to live with and have borderline personality disorder? I was diagnosed 20 years ago with the disorder, and since then, I have dedicated my money, my time, my emotional efforts, and my spiritual efforts to my recovery. And for me, that looks like more long-lasting friendships and relationships, less emotional lability, which is the fluctuating of emotions and states of mind, to better manage my borderline symptoms for me, which have been cutting, dysregulated relationships, self-harm, and emotional lability. I produce about 3 to 5 videos each week discussing these topics. Generally, they are pulled out of events that occur from my day-to-day life. I also take video suggestions from all of you. So if that sounds good, please hit subscribe and the bell below so that you never miss a beat. As I mentioned, you will find that I post about 3 to 5 new videos each week. So let's get started. As usual, I was not planning on making a video this morning, but something happened. I had an interaction with a friend of mine today, and so that prompted me to think about this very issue. And today I want to talk about the one thing that truly made the difference and continues to make the difference in my borderline recovery and how it can work for you. I want you to think about this scenario or this friend. You have a friend that always seems to be in some kind of distress or chaos. Perhaps they cannot manage their finances. You know, they're always in debt, or they're always in credit card debt, or they never have enough money for a movie, but they always seem to have enough money for cigarettes. Perhaps you have a coworker or a family member who says they want to change. You know, they want to quit drinking. They know that their house is really dirty and they should keep it up better. You know, they know that they get fired from their jobs a lot and people see them as unreliable. And they want to change that. You know, many times these friends and family members and coworkers of ours have great insight, just like you and I do. Great insight into what their issues are, what they need to work on. And oftentimes they even know how to work on it. So if they know what their issues are, and if they know what they need to get done, why don't these behaviors ever change? Why do they keep staying the same way that they are? You know, certainly I know over the years that people have looked at me that way, right? Like, you know, why does she keep getting fired from these jobs? You know, she's always so emotional at work. You know, why does she keep picking these loser boyfriends, you know, that are just abusive or not on her level? Why does she keep doing that? Why is she always in debt? You know, why can't she just cut up the credit card, right? I'm sure these are questions that my friends and family have thought to themselves about me over the years. And some of them have challenged me on them. And for that, that's great. It didn't personally work for me at the time. And that's going to be at the very heart of today's topic. Let me start by saying that this topic came out of a conversation with a friend of mine today, and I've talked about her in a couple of my other videos. She's a dear friend. I really enjoy her company. She's a good person at heart, but she is also a person who cannot seem to always get out of her own way. And we had a meeting today, an appointment. She's also a client of mine. And we were going to be trying out we're switching up the kinds of leads and collars that her dogs use in hopes that they'll walk better on the walk and that it'll be more enjoyable for all of us. And so it was her idea that I come over yesterday and today to size these new collars, take the dogs out on a walk together, see how they responded, and then I could take her lead on how she might want me to continue walking the dogs. So this was her idea. So she spent money, she booked my time. Yesterday I went out there, we did it. I would say, for the first 20 minutes of this 45-minute visit, she was on her phone, she was distracted. I felt like I had to keeping us on track, because as soon as that time's up, I'm leaving. For me, I have a very clear delineation between friendship and business. So the payment is due when the payment is due, and our time is up when the time is up, and I don't budge on that. And, I think if I did budge on that, then I wouldn't feel good about myself, and they might feel awkward about the situation, and perhaps that could even lead to some sort of exploitation. So anyway, yesterday we did that. It was fine. So we completed the visit. It was pretty successful. This morning and last night, I knew that one of her family members was coming over to help clean her house. She had set out some goals from herself, and I was being super encouraging. I was like, that's great. You're getting so much done. That's perfect. I'm sure when your family member comes over tonight, you're going to get even more done tomorrow. And we had planned that I would be coming at 12 p.m. today to do, again, this tutorial with her that she requested and that has been on the calendar now for several days. So I send my morning text as I normally do. Hey, I'll be here at this time, and I'll see you then. So maybe about an hour or so before I was supposed to go over, she sent me a text saying, hey, I'm looking forward. Yeah, that sounds good. I'm looking forward for you walking the dogs today, but I think I'm going to skip on walking with you today. My family member and I, we were just up way too late last night. And I was like, okay. And immediately I think, well, I'm not going to waste my time. The whole point of this today was for her to get more comfortable seeing how the dogs walk on these leads and leashes. It's important for the dog's safety. It's important for my comfort. It's important for her comfort. But if it's not that important for her, I'm certainly not going to make it that important to me. So it has to be important to her first. So I texted back. I said, why don't we just do this? I'll tack on an extra 30 minutes tomorrow's visit, since the point of today really, I believe, was for us to be comfortable walking the dogs in their new leashes and taking a lead from you on how to do that. And so if you're not willing to do that today, why don't I just go over tomorrow? And she was like, okay, yes, thank you. That's great. I really appreciate that. And I said, cool. I said, well, the invoice is waiting for you in your inbox. So when you are ready, please pay then. Okay, we left it at that. And, in my head, and it can be easy to judge people, I didn't judge her. I didn't say, oh, here we go again. But, I wasn't surprised. Maybe that's a lie. Maybe I did say, to myself, why can't you get it together, girl? Now, does this affect me? Not really. I mean, I'm keeping the money, she'll get the made up time tomorrow. Now, if she had canceled on me altogether, I wouldn't have given her money back. But, she'll get an extra time added on till tomorrow. Does she win in this situation? I don't know. Does she? Her goal was to stay on track. Her goal was to learn how to walk these dogs with these new leashes. Her goal was to keep a tighter rein on her money and not let it be wasted. Did she accomplish those things today? No. So why is it then that some people recover, some people succeed, Some overcome their problems, their obstacles, and they can be great obstacles, super obstacles. Why is it that some people can recover and do that more effectively, and others end up being 50, 60 years old and they're still jobless, they still have financial instability, they still don't have a place of their own to live, they're not recovered. It's just like they've stuck in Peter Pan land. Why is that? Well, I'm going to tell you what I think. It comes down to one word, one concept: discipline. 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 When you are in therapy, when you are in DBT, wherever you are trying to make your life a better place, whether that's online classes, in-person classes, DBT classes, twice weekly therapy sessions, twice monthly therapy sessions, Alcoholics Anonymous groups, whatever it is that you are working towards, I have news for you. There are no gold stars in therapy. No, the teacher's not giving out stickers. There are no cheerleaders. Not many. You may find one or two in a pocket here or there. But cheerleaders won't show up at your games if you don't play, right? And there just simply are not any gold stars in therapy. What does that mean? It means that oftentimes you're not going to have people saying to you, "Great job. I really see a difference. Great job. I can really tell that you're working hard at that. Wow, 6 months ago, a year ago, you handled a situation like this, and now you're handling it like this. And wow, what a wonderful improvement. Like, congrats." That would be awesome if we heard that, right? Every now and then you might, but chances are you won't. And so it comes down to discipline. You have to be your cheerleader. You have to be your drill sergeant. You have to keep track of your progress. You have to give your gold stars. So what does that mean exactly? It means that you commit to your recovery. That means that you commit to becoming your own drill sergeant. What does that look like? Well, that looks like this, and this is what it looked like for me. You make a plan, you enact the plan, you stick to the plan, you repeat the plan, okay? You have to keep on track for you. You're a grown-ass adult now. No one's calling to see if you're going to be in class today. The principal is not calling your parents to see why you didn't show up for first period. If you call out of work a bunch of times, eventually your boss in the HR department, they're going to stop asking why. You have to become your own great motivator. You got to be your own life coach. You got to be your own drill sergeant. You got to be your own professor sometimes, but you have to do it yourself. And that means that you stick to a plan. That could look like any number of things. For me, I'm big on calendar use. And I color code them. I have different calendars in my iPhone. One is just like regular calendar stuff. One is a color just for my work stuff. And another calendar is just orange for like personal recovery, urgent matters that I want to tend to. And when I see something in orange or when I see something in green, I'm like, oh, I definitely have to get to those things today. I look at my calendar at the beginning of the day. I stay on track. I commit. I do those things fully, and I'm fully present, and I follow through. It means that I show up when I say that I'm going to show up. And I just don't mean for other people, I don't just mean that I show up to my appointments. I mean, I show up for me. So, perfect example right now, I've got like 5-6 books on my coffee table that I want to read, but I just look at them like, oh, wow, I got to read all 5 of these. When, I could just maybe put out one. Maybe that would be more helpful. Maybe then I would actually read it. But no one's going to call me on the phone and say, hey, did you finish those 5 or 6 books? No. If I want to finish those 5 or 6 books, then I make a note on my calendar and I set aside that time and I defend it. That means that time is for me. And I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I don't take calls. I don't answer the front door. Not that like I'm getting 52 phone calls and like, a bunch of people asking for my autograph at the front door, but it means that I defend that time for me. And you can defend your time in other ways. If you're in DBT, that takes a heck of a lot of time of your week. Forget classes. I mean, all of the homework and the coaching that you do on the phone, things like that takes a lot of time. So you have to be a staunch defender of your boundaries. That means saying, no, I'm sorry, I can't go out with you this day. I have a date with me, right? It means that you enroll in DBT and you stay in DBT. It means that you make therapy a priority. It means that you make you a priority. And definitely it doesn't mean that you just hope it gets better and see where it takes you. All of the insight, all of the knowledge, all of the money that you could throw at your problems, at solving your issues, is nothing without discipline. You have to do it. You got to get in there and find a way. And I'm not big. I'm a Gen X. That's my generation. And when I was little, I got the keys to the house at 10 years old, and I'd come home from school. I'd let my own self in the door. I'd do my homework. My mother worked a 4 p.m. to midnight shift. I was the only child living there alone. I had to get my shit done. That was it. So I'm not big on excuses. When I hear people like, oh, I couldn't do this or I couldn't do that, I'm like, you can find a way. I don't have people giving me money. I found a way. I don't have people saying, I found a way. Okay. Make it a priority and follow through. Discipline is what is going to separate you from those who are not going to recover. I mean, you can talk and talk and talk and talk forever, but that's all it's going to be if you don't commit. Ways that I psych myself up, like looking at the calendar is one, right? Well, what do I got to do today? What do I want to get done today? I may not want to do it, but I'm like, you have to. And this is why you have to. I'll tell myself, and that drill sergeant, or maybe, is for me, it works as a good picture in my mind. But perhaps like, having this picture of a life coach, or if you're into religion, like God, or whatever it may be, telling you, you've got to get out there and do this, right? Like having this other kind of picture in your mind that helps psych you up. Okay, so play music, right? Like I love like Eminem's Lose Yourself. To me, like or Until I Collapse. Both of those are songs that, like, if I need a good like kick in the ass, those are songs that motivate me. Use your phone, create voice notes to yourself, save them on your phone. Hey Jen, you've got this coming up, you got this. Play it over to yourself. Create a song list on your phone called motivation. Create a photo album on your phone, and put pictures in there that inspire you. Maybe it's a recovery goal. Maybe one day you'd like to be a parent. Maybe it's a picture of a family. Maybe it's financial stability. The key here is discipline. I can't say this enough. It's discipline. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to take a long time. It could take the rest of your life. But I'll tell you, my life has been getting better and better, and I've been more effective and more effective, and I've kept friends longer and longer, and I have weeded out people that didn't belong in my life better and better. I have decreased how much I take things personally more and more. Remind yourself that it's going to be hard. Remind yourself it's going to be difficult, and then do it anyway. It's discipline. Too often people give up. And you'll see it. You know people that have given up, and you're just like, it's never going to change for you, And that's their life to live. But if you want a better life, my advice to you is discipline. This is BPD Woman. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, check out the other videos. Consider subscribing. And until I see you next time, in everything that you do, please be effective. Talk to you later. Bye.